Hello all, and the next topic that I'm doing for your class 12 is the stacks data structure. The total weightage for this lesson is very less. It is only going to be 4 marks, maybe 5 marks, but it's a very easy topic, and maybe with this just one video, you should be able to get full out of full in this. So in 2023, there was a 1 mark question and a 3 mark question. 3 mark question is mandatory, but in some sample papers, instead of this 1 mark question, there is a 2 mark question. That's the only difference that has come here. And one thing I would like to say here is data structures was a very big lesson in the previous syllabuses, and CBSE syllabus has been changing time and again. So for computer science alone, I think this is the 5th or 6th version in the past 3 years. So the actual clarity is you need to only study this much for the exam from the examination point of view. But additionally, you can read, like in Sumita Arora, you have a full chapter on data structures and one separate chapter for data structures with stacks. So that is only for additional reading. It will not be from the examination point of view. So this video is going to be only from the examination of point of view, what you have to study. So what is a data structure and how is it different from a data type? So we all know what is a data type. So data type is you have int, right? You don't have to declare it in Python, but yes, you have integers, numbers, and then you say you have characters, right? So all these are data types. They are going to give you the type of the value. They will just tell you the type of whichever value you are storing. Whereas a data structure can actually store the value. And we can say it is a collection of data types. For example, a list is one of the data structures. So what is a list? We have studied this in 11th. A list can have 1, 2, it can have ABC, it can have anything. It can have a list also within this. So this is the main difference between a data structure. Data structure is a way of organizing data so that it is easy for us to manipulate. So that's the definition that they are expecting in the board exam, organizing data. So what do I mean by organizing data? When it is such as a list, now I can have an index. I can access it using the index. I can do slicing. So these are the different definitions that you can imagine for data structure. And that is in case if it is going to be a 2 mark question for you. Right? So next is, so now the syllabus that we have is stack. So what is a stack? A stack is a type of a data structure. It is a type of data structure. Yes, it is a data structure which follows a particular order. It follows LIFO. So what is LIFO? Lost in, first out. So this is one famous question. So what is the difference between a stack and a list? There is no difference practically. And for all your purposes, I don't think you will ever be needing it. It is only a theory concept, and you might not even appreciate what is the different use of stack here. It is just way for you to understand. And just remember that stack is a data structure where automatically functions, or there are some modules which specifically work on stack and all those stuff, which are very advanced level of Python. And in any language, it's like that. So it is just that they're giving you an introduction to stack. So don't go too much into why it is required, how is it different from a list and all. Just remember, this is a special type of a list. That's all. So stack is a data structure. It follows the last in, first out order. And what are the different operations on a stack? So in stack, going through the elements. This is common for any list for that matter. Going through the elements one by one. This is called as traversal. So what is traversal? Traversal is moving. We are moving through the elements one by one. That is traversal. And then adding data to the top. Remember that in a stack is something like a stack of books. It's like this. I have something here. If I want to put a 4, I can put it only on top of 1. This is called as the top place or the top position. So adding data is called as append. It is called as push in a stack. Same way, removing data is called as pop. And there is something which is called as peek. Peek is called as looking at the top. Just looking at the topmost position is called as peek. So these are all some terms that we use related to stack. It's just for your information as a theory question. That's it. The next is, what are the different types of questions that they ask? So they could ask you a question like this, wherein write the output of. So you can always draw it like you have push 5. This is a stack. You push 5, and then you push 8, When I say pop, the topmost element is going to be removed. So 8 will get away and only 5 will remain in the stack. So I can write the statements below because it's a 2-mark question. You can always write which statement gives you which output. You can decide to do it as a table also. Again, I have a push 2. Then I have again a push 5. Then I have a pop. So 5 gets out. At every stage, they will ask you to show this. So there is a pop here. And finally, I say push 2. So the stack contents at the end of executing all the statements should be this. So this should be your result. Right? I think this is pretty straightforward. Keep on pushing and keep on popping as they have given you in the question. So this could even be, they can give you the order as 2, 2, 2, 5, 5, 2, 2. As a MCQ also, they can ask you this question. So it's perfectly possible. So there are some similar questions like this. The idea is to drive through you that you cannot delete anything in the middle. So that's the idea behind this question. So you have A, B, C, D, E. Can B be deleted before D? Why? So no, because the order can always be on, because only the topmost element can be, topmost elements can be deleted first. That's the LIFO principle. And since stack works on LIFO principle, this is not possible. Should be your answer. Now, this is, you have an NCERT textbook, right? So for CBSE, there is an NCERT textbook also. It is not very good. That is one reason most schools, we don't use that book. But yes, there are some questions which we might have to practice from there, because board exam, you can expect some questions of this model. So they are given this question to you, and it's also a pretty straightforward question. They're given you a number list of 10, 20, and 30. When they say append is a function, we know what it will do. It will print you 10, 20, 30. Number list will have now 40. Now they're saying result is 0 and they're adding the pop. They're first popping, so 40 will be there. The result is equal to 0 plus 40, which is 40. Second line says result is equal to, already it is 40 plus that you are adding this 30. So the answer is going to be 70. So what will be the output for this program? We have to say result is equal to 70. This is your output. Very, very possible 1-mark question this is. So they can ask you questions like this, because usually they ask you what is a stack, what is pop, what is push. So instead, if they decide to go a little creative here, they can ask you a question like this. Then coming back to the next one. So this is also an NCERT question. They have given this question. This is also pretty straightforward. Answer dot append T. Then you're appending A and then you're appending M. So now answer is going to have, let's say, as in this format. Now CH is equal to answer dot pop. So when you pop, first you get M. You're adding that to something called as output. So M and then A and then T. So finally, when I say output, output is going to print me MAT on the screen. So the output is just, you have to say output and write whatever will come on the screen as such. There is no extra things here. Whatever they have asked you have to write the output exactly, then otherwise you will lose marks here. So this is regarding pretty much your 1-mark and 2-mark questions. Now comes our 3-mark model. 3-mark, before two years back, it was like this, very simple like this. Even now it's simple, but it is a standard procedure to follow. So even before we go that, let's go back to our question in the assertion reason, which was asked in the 2023 board paper. Now look at the question number 18 here. A stack is a LIFO structure. The assertion is definitely true. Any new element pushed into the stack always gets positioned at the index after the last existing element in the stack. This is also true. So I have told you that, I told it so many times, you have to just put an and, but, because, and check if it is A. Now we know both the statements are true. So it is going to be either A or B. So A is true and B is also true, but it is just like looking like a paragraph. A stack is a LIFO structure, and any element pushed into stack always gets positioned at the last index. We cannot say this is because of this, because a stack is a LIFO structure. So it is a LIFO structure because of this, maybe we can say, but then we have to also talk about the pop thing. So I would always go with B for this. So coming back to our program. Okay. So this is usual standard procedure, write functions push and pop to add a new employee, delete an employee. So how do I start this program? Let's start with, I have a def push of employee. So simple, you're going to get an employee as a list of employees. So this is the bottom one. We can do the program later, but let's for the time being assume that let's finish that also so that we will know what we are expecting. Employee is equal to is a list of employees. So they have said in the board exam, they will actually give you the proper syntax itself. So here let's take it's 111 and I'll have an employee. I'll have his salary, comma, another. I'll have his salary. Maybe I have 2 employees in this list. Now this is getting pushed here. So now what am I supposed to do here? You have to implement it as a stack is what they are saying. So let's start. We will just say for each employee in this employee list, we will have our own stack. We will call our stack. They would have given a name usually. Let's call this as just stack. It's global. So for each exit employee, stack.append X. So that's all. There is no limit here. It is not like we have to check for any overflow here. That concept is not there. Even otherwise in Python, the memory is unlimited. So we don't use that concept anymore. So it's a very, very straightforward program. That's it. Only these lines for us. So here there is only one small change which we'll be doing in the next program. There will be an if condition here. This is a 3-mark program. So for 3 marks, they might divide it as 1.5, 1.5. So you don't even have to write the bottom line here. You just have to give the functions only. So this is your first program. Then you will have your def pop. Def pop, and I think there is no need for employee here, but still there is no need for an employee here. I don't think there is an employee required. Now again, in def pop, it's always the same syntax. It can either be only pop or it could be pop and display. So here they have not asked you to display anything. Delete an employee only. So we don't even have to bother about displaying it. You can just say while stack not equal to empty, because we have declared stack globally. I'm just going to say stack.pop. So as long as the stack is not empty, keep deleting everything in the stack. So this will remove the employee. This is a very simple structure. So the question is very vague. So we can just stop here. It is perfectly valid for writing this program for 3 marks. Yes, if you want to beautify it, we will do all the beautifications. But now what they have done is CBSE has started getting very creative in the way they ask your questions, right? So let's come back to what CBSE is asking now. So we are in, yes. The question number 30, as you can see here. So they have a list contains the following record of a customer. So the question is so big, the answer is going to be smaller than this. So always we don't have a problem. The stack name is given there. It carries half a mark. We have to remember to use that. So let's start with, we have a def push underscore customer. We have to declare our hotel as empty. This is my stack name. So I'm going to have this as empty. So push underscore customer. Again, here is one interesting thing, that is they are not passing the customer here. So we have to assume that it is going to be passed from the list. Like for example, let's call this as L. They have given some details here as Siddharth, Dlex. This can be bottom or above. Anywhere is fine. So remember, they have not given it as the syntax. So we can also not use it as the syntax. So you have to be careful only with these things. So they have given the function as only push underscore customer. They are not passing the argument. So we will also not pass the argument. The push customer is to names of those customers who are staying in the Dlex room. It's not that you're creating all the details here. So it is going to be the same for X in L. Whatever name you keep here, for each element in this list, if, now this is list of 0, this is list of 1, right? So you have if X of 1 is equal to DLX, then you're going to say hotel dot append X. Extra one line. There we appended everything into our stack. Here we are going to append only the customers who have a deluxe room type. So this is the function again for 1.5 marks to 2023 board exam paper. You have def pop underscore customer, same syntax, same name, same spelling, capital letter, small letter, everything. To pop the names of customers from the stack and display them. Okay, you have to display it now. And also display underflow when there are no customers in the stack. So they have given you a sample output for you to look at what is important here, whether it comes in the same line or in the next line. That is also important. So printing that all matters here, you can lose marks here. So again, I will do the same thing. I will just say while hotel is not equal to empty. As long as there are values to display, I'm going to just say print hotel.pop. So it's going to print me. Okay, they are going to add only the names. Okay, so then we can't append the entire X. We are going to append only the append X of 0. Right, because that is what they are printing here, and they are saying pop the names of customers. They are not saying pop the entire record, so it's only X of 0. Okay, now when I say print hotel.pop, it's going to print me. Yes, Jerry was the last person. It's going to print me Jerry. Then it goes here again, it checks. Again, there is a Siddharth there, so it prints Siddharth also. And there is a while else concept that we studied already. So when I come to else, I'm going to print underflow. So this is user-defined functions alone is our botheration. We don't have to call these functions also. So I think this pretty much will do it, I think. Yes. So you just have to write def for customer while hotel not equal to print else. So this is the same syntax for majority of the questions. You have a lot of questions. So I'll try to share some extra questions also as a description for you. So you can work them out. It's a very, very similar model. So once you know one model, one pattern, like this is called as a list model. So whenever there is a list asked in the question, this could be more than enough for you to write any program based on this logic. Whereas there's a second model, which is usually or only. For the past 2-3 years, I think even in compartment papers, they are giving a choice for the dictionary one. But yes, dictionary one is also here. It's straightforward again. Still, we will do this alone. So the B question here, you can see that write a function in Python, push vehicle, and say since it's a dictionary, there's only one question asked here. There is not even a pop here. There's only a push, where vehicle is a dictionary containing. So let's say vehicle is equal to. So they have a car name and maker. So I'll take the same example, but remember the program has to work for all the values, not only for this set of data. So you cannot hard code anything. So like this, there are a lot of values given in the vehicle. And let's look at our dictionary. They have given any stack name. They have not given a stack name. So we will just take our own stack as equal to empty. I have created a list here. So now there is only one function, def push, but I have to pass my dictionary here. So again, straightforward for each value, right? So for each key, for X in vehicle, they're asking you to push only the car manufactured by Tata. So manufactured by Tata is if vehicle of this particular key, the syntax will change. Vehicle of X is your key. So key is your car name. Vehicle of car name is Santro. The maker of Santro is Hyundai. So, but then they have given you Tata. So I can either do this. I can say vehicle of X in different versions of Tata. Enlarge this. in Tata, TATA, all different spellings, or the easier way would be to just convert this into uppercase so that we know what we are checking. So vehicle dot x dot upper equal to Tata. So easier to check, only a single line. So if this is the case, then you're going to add. So let's look at the output here. It should have only the name of the car. So stack dot append. I think X is fine because X is my key and my key is my car name. I want only the car name. So this is the only code. You just need these 4 lines for getting your. Actually, this vehicle is also not mandatory. This line also is not required. You can just start from here and write your program in the board exam. So you can write you declare your own stack. Just push this. That's it. So you're guaranteed of your marks in the exam. So the last program in this topic is going to be the sample paper 2023, the recent sample paper given. So it's a very similar program, and I think we can solve this program with the same logic that we used before. So again, they've given you an N list, and the model is also given here. So it's a list of lists, so remember that. But we don't bother about any of that. And it's always question number 30. It's very surprising. It's always question number 30. So def exactly as given, push underscore element of N list. It takes a nested list as an argument and pushes a list object containing name of the city and country which are not in India. There are 2 conditions given here. That's the only change here, but they have not surprisingly asked the dictionary model at all in the sample question paper given. So def push element of N list, same logic for X in the list. For each item in this list, if X of the first one is city, the second one is country, we are bothered about the country. X of 1 is not equal to India. And we're talking about distance. There is only 3 elements, 0, 1, 2. So X of 2 should be less than 3,500 kilometers. If both these conditions are satisfied, they are name of the city and country. Let's look at the output. So they are adding both of them. So you forgot one thing, that is travel. On a stack name travel, so I have to declare a stack here. Travel is equal to empty. So generally we will append one thing. Now here I can say travel dot append. I want both. I want to append X of 0 as well as X of 1. I want the city as well as the country. So now one record is done there. So this I'll keep on continuing till how much ever time it goes on. So at the end, I will have the list. Travel will have all the details that are required. Now we'll come back to pop to display stack empty. We'll do the same logic here because I don't have space. And just so I have a def pop underscore element. I don't have to pass anything here, but let's look at the syntax. Yes, it does not have anything passed. Pop element is never going to change for you. While travel is not equal to empty, print travel.pop. The only thing that you have to notice is whether it is in the same line or in the next line. That's the only thing. So when you're printing, just look at how they are printing. It is printed in the next line, so no problem at all. So travel.pop. Put a else here. That is when it is empty, what you have to do. You have to print. I think stack empty. Print stack empty. So pop functions, there is pretty much no change at all. Whereas in the push function, there is only change in the way they check your condition. So for X in that list, if condition will not, the condition alone will change, but the syntax remains the same. So travel.append. So this is your first line, second line. Let me just enlarge it so that you know. Only 3 lines always, right? So and x of 2 is less than or less than 3,500. Travel dot append. So in this append, usually they will append one thing. In this case, you're appending two things. So just be careful in what you're appending. So 3 lines, and this pop element is always going to be 4 lines for you. And I think we are done, right? So yeah, I think it was useful to you. So keep asking your doubts. See you then soon.